Hi everyone. Today we'll be discussing about the topic called as the meaning and essentials of Indian Contract Act of 1872. And this is very important topic because this topic contains about the meaning, essentials and different elements of the Indian Contract Act. According to section 2H, a contract is defined in as an agreement enforceable by law. If you want to make a contract, you require two important things. First is agreement and second is enforceability, which means we should be accepted by law. If you want to make a contract, the first thing is that you have to make a contract by doing an agreement, and then those agreements should be enforceable by law or accepted by law. Then that term will continue to be continued as contract. The second important thing is agreement. Agreement, it is defined in section 2 subsection E of Indian Contract Act as every promise and set of promise forming a consideration for each other is called as an agreement. See, both the party should be agreeing upon the same thing in the same sense. Alright, there should be offer and there should be acceptance. When offer and acceptance together come into one place, that particular thing is called as agreement, or in the terms of law we call it as promise or set of promise. Next is promise. When you are making an agreement, a proposal, when it is accepted, it becomes a promise. A proposal or offer, when it is made, when it is accepted, it becomes a promise. Now, after becoming a promise, the parties are bound to follow it. It becomes an obligation from them, or it becomes compulsory for the parties to follow that particular agreement. Now, if you see the definition in the chart here, offer plus acceptance, if you combine both, it becomes agreement. It offer plus acceptance. So, a contract, when you combine agreement plus its legal enforceability or legal validity, when both things are combined, it becomes a contract. Then an agreement may create a social or a legal obligations. It is not necessary that agreement has to create only legal obligations. No. Some agreements they create social obligations, some agreement they create moral obligations or even legal obligations. But contract only creates a legal obligation between the parties. If any contract is there which is creating social obligations or moral obligations, that particular type of agreement will not form into a contract. Similarly, all agreements do not become contracts. All agreements what you are doing, they do not become contracts. Some will only be termed as offer, some will be termed as acceptance, and some will term as agreement. But all 100% agreement what you are doing, those are not converted into contract. But all contracts, how many contracts you are doing, each and every contracts are converted into the agreement, or those are called as agreements. So there's a term in Indian Contract Act, we call it as consensus ad addendum, which is said in section 13 of Indian Contract Act of 1872, which means where it is called as meeting of mind or identity of mind or receiving the same thing in the same sense and even at the same time. When you agree upon the same thing in the same sense or a manner, that particular thing in the term of law we call it as consensus ad addendum. Then there are certain essentials of valid contract, which is said in section 10 of Indian Contract Act. First is a valid offer and acceptance. When you make a contract has to be made by a valid offer, even by a valid acceptance. Right? There should be offerer and there should be offeree. Somebody should be ready to sell a particular product, and some other person should be ready to buy a particular product. Right, there should be offer and acceptance. So that is the first important essentials of a valid contract. Then intention to create legal relationship. A contract should create a legal relationship. If it is creating a social relationship like a social invitation or like any other invitation which is not making a legal obligation or a legal binding on the parties, such particular kind of relationship between the parties will not have any legal existence. So a contract has to create a legal relationship. Similarly, there should be consensus ad idem, which means agreeing upon the same thing in the same sense. Both the party, the offerand and the offeree, the seller and the buyer in simple, should agree upon the same thing in the same sense, right? What seller is ready to sell and what buyer is ready to buy, if there is any confusion in that, or if they are not agreeing on the price or a quantity or on description or some other matter of the contract, then there will be no valid contract comes into existence, right? Then lawful consideration, the consideration what you're getting in return or what you're paying in return, it has to be lawful, right? If the consideration is lawful, which is not accepted by law, then in that case also a valid contract will not come into existence, right? So a consideration should be a lawful consideration. Similarly, capacity to the parties or capacity to the contract, capacity of the party also we call it, and even capacity to the contract we call. The parties who are entering into the contract, they should be capable of entering into a contract. If the party is capable of entering into a contract, in that situation a contract will not become a valid contract. There are some parties who are not capable of entering into a contract. As per Indian Contract Act of 1870, every Indian citizen is eligible to enter into a valid contract, but there are few persons who are not eligible to become a party to the contract, or they are not capable of entering into a contract. Those people are like minor, right, who is below 18 years of age, he is not capable of entering into a valid contract. Unsound mind person, right, a lunatic person, and even persons disqualified by contracting by law, because they don't have a capacity or they are not capable of entering into a valid contract. Apart from them, everybody can enter into a valid contract. Then free consent, the consent what you are obtaining to enter into a contract, or the consent what you are made to make a contract, in that case it has to be obtained by freely. If it is obtained by forcible nature, whether if there is a mental pressure involved or if there is any physical pressure involved, in that case a valid contract will not come into existence, right? Like in some situation it is caused by coercion, where physical pressure is involved. In some situation it is caused by undue influence, where mental pressure is involved. So if any situation is there where freely they are not entering into a contract, by their will and wish they are not entering into a contract, in that case a contract will not be valid. Then legality of the object, the object of the contract what you are making, it should be legal. If the object of the contract is illegal, or if it is opposed to public policy, or if it is such that it will harm to some person, your ultimate object of the contract is such that you are going to harm some person, or it is opposed to public policy or a nation or national interest, in that case a contract will never be a valid. So the ultimate object of the contract should be legal. Similarly, possibility of performance, the contract what you are making should be possible to perform. If anybody is doing any contract which is impossible to perform, by your limit you can't perform it naturally, so such contracts which are impossible to perform, those are not valid contract. So the contract should be possible to perform. Then similarly, writing and registration. So writing and registration nowadays it is also called as an essential element of a valid contract, because nowadays you can see in the court they will ask you for so many evidences. They will ask you for records, attestation, registration, notary, signatures, so many things are required. So they ask you for writing and registration. So it has also become an essential element of a valid contract. Thank you.